Gath got. The stone that broke the bone all along was battle born. The keen sense of calculation cultivated by David's instinct made a statement that ripples through Goliath's pool of blood through the ages. Let not, the, let not his efforts be forsaken. When he dropped the giant, the earth was shaken. His own pops nearly forgot about him in the wilderness. Informed the coming king with cunning skills built from vim within. The little lad killed the king of the beasts for taking a bleating sheep before John Wick did. Okay, so this is Gath God. So it's actually very fresh. I just wrote it especially for this. I just wrote it. But then that's why it's a bit rusty when I kind of do it. But still working on it. This is about something amazing, which is the story of David and Goliath, which starts with the story of Gath. Or which ends with the story of Gath, maybe starts with there. But then I'm going to show you something. What they found was this. This is the Steely Dan. I hope this. Yes, good. So this is the Steely Dan. I'm gonna take this away very soon. But this stone right here is what I'm talking about. And all of this information is just what we're gonna go through and the implication of what this is all about. Okay. So this was discovered in a place called Dan. So this is an ancient city of Dan. Let's see the map where you at. So it's right here, like right there at the tip of the top where that red dot is. That's this city of Dan where they saw this Stevie with everything that was in it. So Dan means judgment. And this is where we also get the name of Sudan, right? But when we're looking at this, what we're seeing is what they found was this steel. So I'm just gonna so what was written on it here is what we're gonna go through. So there was some information that was written on this here. All of this is written in the phonetic form. So this is where the alphabet comes from. This is the Phoenicians writing this. But then it says, and then now we're gonna read what it says. But then I think before we go there, we'll go to why it's important in the Bible, and then here we're gonna go to 2 Kings 17, which is also right here. Yeah, 2 Kings 17. It says, at the time King Hazazel of Aram went up and fought against Kings 12:17. First Kings, that's why this was happening. 2 Kings 12:17. So, and Hazazel, the king of Syria, went up. So now when we're talking about Syria and all of those places, we also have the understanding of the Garden of Eden. We have the understanding that is in the Bible is amazing, so that we know what this is about. But then it says the king of Syria went up, fought against Gath. This is where Gath got, and took it, and Hazazel set his face to go to Jerusalem. So Gath got is my poem, but in this Bible, it's saying that the moment that this king came to this place, there was a king, Jehoash, king of Judah, took hallowed things and gave it to this king. And then the king went away because the king was like, no, we're going to go get them. And then Jehoash gave them something and then they went. So from there, this is where they wrote this deity or around those times. So it could be this king or another king. But in the same way or whatever way, there's a connection with the Bible and what's happening here. Which at the same time just proves that, first of all, there was what we call a whole kingdom of David. This is the kingdom, the house of David. This is what they're talking about in this deity, right? And now, that's interesting, and then we go to the city of Dan, and then we know what happened in that place. Because that Dan, it's also interesting that it connects with Africa in the word Sudan. That's where the Dan in Sudan comes from. It's the Dan. So, especially even their proximity is very close. So, now that we know that there was a house of David, does this mean that everything in terms of Second Kings, this is all true. Whatever happened with David and Goliath, it's all true. Because what this is showing us is that the information here is showing that there was a king and there was a kingdom and there was someone called David in the house of David. And now we want to see, and then this all happened importantly in 1993, which is basically in my lifetime. So this is very important, and this is sort of fresh information based on the age of the Bible. So now we're going to go to something that is interesting in that it is going to prove, or what they show about Goliath. So there's just going to be some oddities here. But then this happened in 2005, as you can see. This is NBC. So this is saying they found something about Goliath here. And this is a whole article. And then I said that there are going to be some oddities, right? What is odd about this is that they're not even going to show you what they found, but they're going to tell you what they found. Scientists found Goliath inscribed on pottery. Archaeologists digging. What it means is that at the time there were people named Goliath. He said it shows us that the story slew Goliath with a slingshot. This is real. This is what NBC is saying. Like, they have to admit it. Some scholars assert that the story of David slaying this is a myth. Shards date back to 950 BC. This is important. 950 BC. 70 years when the biblical chronology asserts David squared off, and I think this is interesting terminology, squared off Goliath, making the oldest Philistine inscription ever found, the archaeologists say. So this is important. This is why I wanted to show you this, because they say it's the oldest Philistine inscription ever found. Scientists made this discovery at Tel Es Safi, a dig site in southern Israel, brought to be one of the locations of the Philistine cities. So if we go to this Tel Es Safi, this is this place here. So Tel Es Safi. So you see, like, you can't really see it with the way that this information basically is. But then here, and then we saw the other place was here where we found the stele. It was right there on top. But now this is Tel Es Safi. So this is where Goliath used to live. This is his hometown, basically. Oh, I actually have this. So let me actually use this. Let me see if it works. I don't really use this. Never had a use for it. Maybe this would be useful now. Yeah. But so this is the hometown of Goliath. Interesting, right? Interesting. And then when you click this, it says the Tel Es Safi inscription. This is all on Wikipedia. And guess what? All of the information you're going to get, this is now from 1993. This is now from 2005. The first one is from 93. They proved the David. And then this is from 2005. They're proving Goliath. And then all of this is just in this information here. This is all the information in the world Wikipedia is going to give you. And it's not even going to show you the pottery, by the way. So this is what I'm saying. There's some oddities to it, because you would think this would be something that we should all be talking about, like, intensely, rambunctiously. But Tel Es Safi inscription found in 205 in Tel Es Safi, identified in Gath, was under the destruction layer 1000 to 925 BC, which is a long time ago. 7 letters interpreted as 2 words were written in the piece of pottery. This was initially suggested to be similar to what would have been there in the name of Goliath, the biblical character in Gath. So this is written in Proto-Canaanite. It is known as the earliest alphabetic inscription in the Iron Age for the Science City well-defined context. So this was dug up. And for us to even know more, we still need to keep digging. And this is where we finally get to actually see what they found. So this is where Goliath is. This is true. This is in the museum. This is also in the newspaper. You can also check it out on your own, which is why this video is going to end now, so that you also go and check these out. So I'll let you also dig into it and tell me more about this. But then tell me what this means, because if this is what's happening, then is this basically saying that everything we say David Goliath killed by a slingshot, this is all real, and this is all in that museum right now, and this is all modern information? So yeah,